Hi friends, it's your girl, Becca Sarah. I hope you're doing amazing. I'm doing fine. So today I am going to discuss season 7 of Love is Blind. So Love is Blind is a reality TV show on Netflix, and the hosts are the Lachey's, Vanessa Lachey and Nick Lachey. So how this show works is that they have a lot of different singles from a Pacific state. This season it's in DC, and basically they're in pods, getting to know each other, learning things about each other without seeing them. They get engaged, they go on a little before honeymoon, live together, meet each other's friends, families, fur babies, decide if they want to continue things, buy their wedding dresses and suits, pick whoever's going to be in the bridal party, and at the end they decide, is love truly blind? And they decide to marry each other or not. And if they do get married and stay married, they are in the few couples that make it longevity of that, or they break it off. Everyone in these shows, these marriage based shows like Love is Blind and Married at First Sight, they sign a prenup. So if they ever get divorced, what's mine is mine and what's yours is yours, which is great. So the question of the show, and this happened every season, and I felt like it was a great concept at the beginning. And the question is love truly blind? And for my opinion, it's not. I feel like there's a lot of factors to it that has to do with age, race, your personality. How you are in the pods can be different from how you are in real life, etc., etc. For me, when it comes to someone, it's their personality and how they look. I feel like it matches together to see if I like that person in general. So no, for me personally, I do not believe love is blind. So let's get on with this season. And oh my gosh, this season was the most confusing season ever. A lot of things were out of taping. Like, they either cut it out of the episodes or they didn't film it. I had a lot of us viewers questioning, how did they click? Did we miss something? Yes, we did, because they either didn't film it or did not put it in the episodes. Or what do you mean? And it made us speculate a lot of things to the point oh, did this happen? And then when it aired, a lot of people were attacking the cast for this. I'll get to one specific point later on when I'm discussing. By the way, this is going to be a long episode, so get a snack, relax. This is going to be a long one, just like the Love Island one. And there is also going to be some spoilers as well. So if you don't want any spoilers for this past season that literally ended a week ago, because the reunion came out last Wednesday, then watch the whole season and then come back to this. That it was very choppy in a lot of ways, and I'm like, how did they film this season? It's very confusing, a lot of questions. If they literally filmed more things, it would be less confusing. So first I'm going to talk about the notable cast. By the way, Love is Blind is on Netflix. There are different Love is Blinds as well. There's Love is Blind UK and other countries as well. that are also on Netflix, but it first started in the USA. So it's different from Love Island. Love Island started in the UK, came to Australia, then came to the USA, etc., etc. But this show started in the USA during the pandemic. Okay, so my issue about the notable cast this season is this and this alone. There's a lot of people in the notable cast. You do not see them at all. You don't hear from them. You might see, the only time you actually saw them was on the first episode when we have Vanessa and Nick Lachey be like, hi, welcome to season 7 of Love is Blind, and you see them in the women's quarter and the men's quarter, and then there's one person you end up seeing when they all get together as a group to meet each other, and so I'm like, okay, why did you add all these people to the Noble cast on Instagram when we don't even see them at all? So let's get started. Okay, so first we have Alex. She is 33 years old and a producer as of right now, but when filming the show, she was a fashion content creator. So pretty much for any fashion brands, she would make their content for them for social media. And then we see her. So I'm going to describe each person, and then I'm going to tell you if they were on and we saw them and we saw their date, and if we did not. So we have Alex. She ends up with Tim. Tim I don't really like that much. We'll get to him soon. Then we have Allie. We don't know Allie at all. Never see her on any days. She's 31 years old and she's a master esthetician. Then we have Ashley A, and at one point I'm not going to even call her Ashley A because there's another Ashley, but we don't ever see her. So for right now I'm calling her Ashley A, but that's going to stop soon. So we have Ashley A. She's 32 years old. She's a marketing director. Then we see her. She ends up with Tyler. They make a cute couple. We'll get into the scandalous stuff too when it comes to them. Then we have Ashley W. Never see her. She's 32 years old. She's a health and wellness educator. Then we have Bowen. I hope I said his name right. He's 36 years old. He's in tech sales. He hits it off really well with Marissa. I'm just going to talk to him about him right now. He is an ex-veteran. Him and Marissa's my favorite. We'll get to her soon. Both ex-military. They both have really great personalities. I wish they ended up together, but Marissa, when she meets him in person, is like, I'm happy with my choice because she ends up picking Ramses, and that ends up being a whole different ordeal. But I liked him. I thought they should have been together. So I think he is really a really cool guy. I liked him. The only person I saw him with was with Marissa. I would have loved to see his other dates as well. He is also a foreigner as well. I want to get and it was really hard for Marissa to pick between him and Ransom, because they're both best friends and they both have similar energy. So it was really hard for her to like pick between both of them. Oh, and by the way, he was previously married before. Again, he's a veteran. So usually a lot of veterans get married young, and a lot of times what also happens is that they get divorced as well. So that was the case of him. He was trying to find love again. He's also a proud Ukrainian refugee as well, and he just talked about that in the pods as well. But I think he's a pretty cool guy. Then we have Brittany. She's 33 years old. She's an esthetician. A lot of people, like, she's very like, I would say like valley girl, like how the way she talks. She wants to be, a trophy wife. Like all the relationships that she's been in, guys pay for everything for her. So she's more of the like old fashioned kind of girlies that like, they're like, oh yeah, I'll stay home, cook, clean, da 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 da, and the guy will do the work, which I'm not really into that, because then you're giving a guy all the power and stuff, and I'm not into that at all. Like, but we all are different, and she ends up in a particular hard times with Leo, because Leo cannot make a decision between her and Hannah. We get to Hannah in a bit. Hannah, don't really like her, but yeah, well, let's continue. Then we get to two other people that we never see. We don't know. And that's David. Next is David. He's 29 years old. He's a project manager. And then we have Dylan. She's 30 years old. She's a realtor and artist. Then we get to next, where we go to Garrett. He's 33 years old. He's an quantum, I think I said that right, physicist. He ends up with Taylor. They make a really cute couple. I like those two. I like Garrett. And then we get to the girl that I don't like at all this season, Hannah. She's 27 years old. She's a medical device sales. She's in medical device sales, and she gets paid a lot of money. She had to quit her job. I'm gonna just talk about her for a bit. She had to quit her job to be in the show, because her job was like, no, it's either you keep this job and they'll go on this show, or you quit this job, or we'll fire you. One of those. You pick your options and you go on the show. And she decides to quit her job, so she's unemployed the whole season, probably try to look for another job. And so apparently she is an Aquarius, and I found that out because where I'm getting all this information, it also shows their star sign, aka their zodiac sign, and I'm like, no, she's not. She doesn't give me any Aquarius qualities, attributes, however, like how Aquarius is. She gives me Capricorn vibes. She's very blunt, brutal, in your face, mean. And I'm not saying Capricorns are mean. I'm just saying, like, she gives me a lot of Capricorn vibes, with her being very blunt and direct. That gives me more Capricorn vibes. I feel like she is in the cusp between Capricorn and Aquarius. But for me, I'm like, you're Capricorn. You're a mean Capricorn, but you're a Capricorn. That's what Hannah gives me. So up next we have two people that we don't know at all. We don't see on screen or get to know who they talk to. And that is Jason, 30 years old, loan officer, and Jenny, 31 years old, account training coordinator. And then after that, we have two people that we see. First, we have Katie, 36 years old, sports marketing manager. She was a cheerleader at first. I forget which sports team that she was a cheerleader for. She talked to Nick D for like the first 3 days and then stopped talking to him because of his maturity. And plus, like, she dated a lot of professional athletes and she wanted something new. There's an incident that happens later on because her and Hannah are besties, and then Katie, and this is the only time we see Katie on screen. Katie is like, "Oh, Nick is hot, is cute, da 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 da. You go, girl," lifting her besties up, and pretty much Hannah is jealous and is like, "Oh, can I trust Katie? Can I trust Nick?" And there's an incident at the reunion where Katie was like, "I watched the whole show and I thought we were good. I thought we were besties. And to hear you say like you don't trust me really hurt me." And Hannah was like, "Girl, I love you. It came out wrong. Of course I trust you. I didn't trust him. You should have just said that in the beginning." Because when that incident happened, he was like, "Oh, so you don't trust me?" And he's like, and Hannah was like, "No, I'm not saying I don't trust you. Maybe I shouldn't trust Katie." Girl, come on now, stop. Anyway, more reasons for me to not like Hannah, and we'll get to the whole Hannah debacle and how she's disrespectful in a bit. Then we get to Leo. I don't like Leo at all. He's very self-absorbed in my opinion. He literally came from wealth. Okay, so like I said, Katie, she is going back. She is 36 years old. She's a sports marketing manager. So she started as a cheerleader, continued doing sports, and became a sports marketing manager. Leo, he's 31 years old. He's an art dealer. So his family is really big on art from his grandparents up. His grandparents died, then his parents died, which is very, very sad in my opinion. Very devastating. So he ended up with lots of money, and the owner of his family's fortune and dealership, and he's like, "Girls only want me because of my money." And all he does when he's on screen literally is talk about his money, he talks about liking going on vacations, which is fine, and going to these different places, which again is fine. But all he talks about his money is like flex his Rolex, talks about his money, and I'm like, okay, dude, for someone that doesn't want to be with someone because of money, you talk about your money all the time. And he's like, "Oh, I'm ashamed of myself. I was talking about money all the time. It's really cringy." He connects with Hannah, who I don't like, and Brittany. He leads Brittany on when he wants Hannah. It's clear, obvious. He talks to the boys about how Brittany is usually the type of girl that he goes for, but it never works out. And then the boys are like, "Then try to do it with Hannah." So he leads both of these girls on to the very end, when clearly he does not have feelings for Brittany. He has more feelings for Hannah. So there was a point that Hannah told Leo, Nick told me he loved me, so I'm gonna end things and only pursue things with Nick. And literally, he gaslights her so bad, which is wrong in every shape or form. Hannah ended up gaslighting Nick and do other stuff with Nick, but we'll get to her soon. And he literally was like, Hannah, why you do that, Hannah? If I said I loved you first, would you have done the same thing? Hannah, do a thing about it. Hannah, how could you? Hannah. So I'm like, dude, you're an a-hole. And then she's like, yeah, I'll think about it. And then she tells Brittany, and she's like, he literally gaslit me, like, just to want Brittany, which is a good thing that Hannah did. And pretty much, in my opinion, Leo made Brittany a second option, and I feel bad. And pretty much, like, gaslit. The next day he's like, I'm sorry for doing that to you. That wasn't the best. And she's like, I accept your apology. And I'm like, no, you're just sorry because someone hold you accountable. Because she's like, I've never been talked to like that before ever in my life. I think you're just sorry because someone went in front of you, like, hold you out. I don't think you're actually sorry, Leo. And then he's like, oh, can you tell Brittany I love her and put out a good word? And she's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, tell her specifically, tell Brittany how terrible he is in general. Do that, because Brittany deserves better than this trash of a man. So he ends up proposing to Brittany. When Brittany meets him, she's super awkward, and at the reunion, and us as people, fans of the show, we're like, oh, get this girl away from him, he's being creepy or whatever. And Brittany was like, no, I was very uncomfortable because of the cameras. He was comforting me. I liked that he was hugging me. They ended up, Brittany and Leo ended up not being the couples to go to Mexico. They went to Miami and pretty much ended it after that because there was stuff that he was doing that really gave her the ick. So they're just friends. Okay, so next we're gonna talk about my favorite person from this whole season, and that is Melissa. And before I get into her details and everything like that, I'm gonna tell you guys why I love her. She reminds me of myself, bubbly, extroverted, very friendly, people person, like someone you can interact with, someone that literally like you see her, you're like, you want to be friends with. Like, she's my kind of person, my kind of girl. We would be friends like that. She is, like I said before, she is an ex-military person. So for her, like, thanks for your service. I say thanks for your service to anyone that was in the military. She, in general, is my favorite. My heart goes out to her completely. I remember at one point, like I said earlier, she ends up with Ramses, that her mom, Vanessa, was like, you hurt my daughter, I'll chop off your balls, which I thought was hilarious. And he did hurt her, and her mom was like, I wish you would not drag it on and literally ended things sooner. So let's get into this. So when she came on the show, she was a student. She was in law school. So right now she is 32 years old and she's a lawyer. Congrats to her. I love Marissa, and I'll get to more later, but like, for me, I'm like, don't change your personality for anyone. You're enough. Monica. So Monica, she is 37 years old, in sales executive, and by the both Marissa and Monica we see the whole time, and she's more I would say, okay, I like how these two are paired, because for me, they're, again, Marissa's not for everybody. Not everybody wants to be friends or like want people that are super hyper bubbly, da da da. But I feel like Monica and Marissa, both start with M, they're opposite of each other. You have like Marissa, who's bubbly and happy and 90% like, oh my gosh, life at the party, like you want to be around. And then you have Monica, who's like very like dull. I feel like a little bit judgmental, a little bit, or really a little bit also critical. I don't hate her, but I'm not like big fan. I'm like, oh, okay. But that's Monica. Next, we have two people that sorry, my bad. We have a person we never see, and then someone we do see. We have Morgan. She's 32 years old, sales team lead. And then we have Nick D. He's 29 years old, real estate agent. He ends up with Hannah. Nick P. He's 31 years old. He's a calm real estate broker. So what I know about him, because I read a little bit about him, he's a single dad. I would have loved to see his dates and how the women reacted to that, like if they were okay with him being a single dad. I know in the last season of Love is Blind, so season 6, there was a girl named Jessica who had a 10-year-old daughter. She was 28. She also, but we saw her though. She didn't end up with anyone. And I'm like, oh, okay. With Nick P, we didn't even see him. So it will be great to like see, the opposite of, because last season we saw a single mom, to be seeing a single dad, particularly like both Jessica and Nick P were teenage parents. So to hear about their journey, how that ended up, if they were high school sweetheart, everything like that, it would have been great to see, but unfortunately, we don't see that. Then we have Nina, 32 years old, journalist. Then we have Perry, 31 years old, realtor. We don't see him at all. Don't know anything about. Then we have Ramses. He's 35 years old. He's a program associate. He has 2 dreads. I don't like them. I don't think anyone likes them. His fashion is okay, I guess. Some people are like, oh, he's stylish. I don't think so. But I don't like the 2 dreads. He's from Venezuela, and he has issues with the USA when it comes to like the USA going into other countries, which is valid. He is from Venezuela. But he and Marissa clash a lot when it comes to what happens with her being a veteran and about birth control. I remember so there was a point when they were living together, they were talking about contraceptions, and pretty much he was like, oh, I don't want to wear a condom, you can get on birth control. And I remember in the pods, like, he was very pro women, and I'm like, okay, so you're pro women unless it's like something you don't want to do. And she can't really be on birth control because of her condition. I forgot what the condition was, but because of her condition, like when she's struggling with that, she's not as hyper as like herself. And I feel like you need a partner that is there for you no matter what your condition is. And I remember Marissa particularly talking about when she was talking to Rim, she's like, guys only stay with me for like 3 months, and because of my energy, the majority of the time, I'm like very, happy, very like bubbly, very like hi, 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 which I am too. And during these podcasts, I try not to be so in your face when it comes to that and like tone it down. And that's the reason why he ends it. They end up going all the way, even trying on dresses and fitting. So the last minute, he's like, I can't do this. You're too much, too hyper. And that was her fear. Like, someone is okay with being with her for like 3 months because of her personality, and or like her personality is too much. So they have to end things. And that has happened to me too. The men have end things because of my like big personality. Me, I'm very like Marissa, very bubbly, outgoing, and it can be too much for some people. And my advice, and they said that, and they really don't change yourself. Your person will like you however you are, and I agree with what Vanessa Lachey said when it came to that. So yeah, you know who she was, and you shouldn't have asked her to marry her if what you already knew how she was in the pod. If that was too much for you, you should have ended it then. You dragged her on, and I didn't like that. A lot of these guys have dragged these women on for no reason, and same with some of these women have dragged these men on for no reason at all. If you don't like them, just end it. Again, like when you're after, like when you guys are living together, if you don't like them because of their personality or something, just end it there. That's my answer. Like, end it there. Stop dragging people. That's what I'm having an issue with. One of the issues I'm having this season is people, both men and women, are dragging each other on for too long when they're like, no, I don't like them, and they're trying to change them to fit what they want. And I'm like, no, they're them. We're not 16 anymore. You guys are not 16-year-olds. People are not gonna change how they are, like their personality. They're a big personality. They're extroverted. They're like, they have golden retriever energy. I've been told I have golden retriever energy. Let them have their golden retriever energy. A lot of people love golden retrievers. If you can't be with a golden retriever 24/7 and be in a relationship with a golden retriever 24/7, then okay, someone else will appreciate that golden retriever. Stop wasting people's time. And I feel like that was a big thing this season, is a lot of people are wasting other people's time. So next we have someone that we didn't see at all, Raymond. He's 33 years old. He's a consultant. And then we have someone we did see, which he gave me a red flag, and that's Steven, 34. He's an electrician. His upbringing is not the best upbringing at all. He's a cheater. He emotionally cheated on his ex-girlfriend. He said he went to therapy for that. He ends up with Monica, and he ends up emotionally cheating on her. And I'm like, this happens, not the cheating part. His excuse, he went to get a sleep test, and that's not the part that I'm like, is the excuse. He went to get a sleep test. Someone DM him, which everybody gets DMs, and there's a girl that DM him. He's into some weird stuff. I'm not kink shaming, but he is into kinky stuff. He mentioned that, and then he was exchanging those to someone that wasn't his fiance. It was a stranger. So, but my thing with him, that so he's with Monica. Monica, she's multi-race. Steven found out that he's 10% black, so he went to discover more information about black to be more knowledgeable, and they connected in the way that they both are more than one race. which is cool. But my red flag with him, and this is the only red flag that I got, because for me it's a big no-no, and I ask anyone that I date this question that I want to pursue seriously with, is if you ever cheated. Cheating is my no-no. Emotional, physical, for me, no. I won't date a cheater. If you cheat on me, we're done. That's how I am. And Steven told Monica he cheated, and she's like, oh, it's okay, you learn from your. I'm like, no, once a cheater, always a cheater. And guess what, girl, he cheated on you. It was a red flag. I don't know why you didn't pay attention to that. And she in the room was like, yeah, he said he cheated, like it was in his past, I didn't think he was good. Girl, if he cheated on someone, he could cheat on you. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, then we have two people again that we never meet. We have Tamar. He is 33 years old. He's a video editor and animator. I would have loved to see his conversations with people, and see him draw or something. Like, it would have been cool to see that, because he is an animator. And then we have Tiara. She's 29 years old. She's a senior marketing manager. We have Taylor, who ends up with Garrett. They're still together. They're happy. She is half white, half Chinese. When talking to Garrett in the pod, she was like, I don't want to tell you my mom's name, because it'll tell you her ethnicity, and I don't want you to not be with me because my ethnicity. When they to meet, is really cute. They're like all lovey-dovey with each other. And I love that. I was like, oh, that's so cute. And she tells Taylor tells Garrett that her mom's name is Fong. I think that's what she said her mom's name is. I don't remember. But all I remember is her mom's Chinese, her dad's white. And then I'll get more to the Pacific couples in a moment. And then we have Tim. He's 32 years old. Tim is 33 years old. He's a web content analysis. He ends up with Alex. What I see is he's very reserved. He doesn't really like fighting, very to himself. Unfortunately, he lost both of his sisters. He talks to Alex about it, and he has their bracelets in his hand. And lastly, we have Tyler. He's 34 years old. He's an account manager. I like him. He's very in touch with his feelings and emotion, and he's emotionally intelligent. He is with Ashley. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the couples. I talked briefly about them a bit here and there, but I'm going to go into more specifics. I'm going to go with the worst first. I like bad news first, and that's Alex and Tim. So going back to Alex really quickly, before I get to them as a couple on their own. So Alex has divorced parents, and she doesn't want to end up in a marriage that is divorced, that ends up in divorce. She talked about something that I thought was very, very interesting, and it's a thing that I feel like should be talked about and people should be thinking about, is the the people being hypocrites and like the gender siding / like, oh, one gender usually does this and another doesn't. And that is when your partner gets a disability. I will say this one more time. When your partner gets a disability or gets ill. Alright, so her dad has MS. fully MS. He has a girlfriend, but now is Alex's stepmom. And through the beginning, when he didn't have an MS, his who is now his wife, was with him. He got MS, he got worse, still with him to this day. That's love, that's commitment, that's amazing. Awesome. And this is what I'm saying is we're getting there, where I'm like, you men need to work on yourself. I'm just saying. Her mom is now starting to get MS, was with her boyfriend for a long time. Everything was smooth and then she gets starts getting early signs of MS. He drops her. This is what I mean. Why do, not all of you, but why, I'm just talking about straight couples here, why are you, most of you men, and I know it's the majority are the trashy ones, and then this is why it's you find more frogs than more like princes and princesses. Why are the majority of you men, when you're, and I'm talking about straight couples, when your wife gets an illness, sick, ill, she's after pregnancy and it's hard for her to lose weight, you drop her? No, that's not okay. But in the reverse, if something like that happens to you, we stay. You guys have no loyalty. The majority of you don't have any loyalty. And I've have talked to personally, and like in past relationships, with men, like romantic relationships, like, oh, if you gain this many pounds, or, and I've heard it too from guys talking to other women and be like, if you gain this many pounds, we're done. You don't know how a woman's body will change after pregnancy. Sometimes it's hard to lose weight. You can't be hypocritical or mean like that. Like, that's terrible. You're just ending a relationship because of her body. Come on now. Do better. Do better. And I love how Alex brought that up, because it shows how, like, most guys, like, when time gets tough or something unexpected happen to your body, your health, anyway, they will leave. So what I'm trying to say is just be careful of who you pick as a partner in general. So here's a thing that was not seen. It's talked about in the reunion. People are giving Alex hate about it. Okay, there's two things. One, I was like, I understand the hate, but we weren't given the context. People were speculating. So apparently they get in an argument. He said that I was called something other than my name that I was given, and I'm like, oh, okay, were you called like a slur? Were you called a bad name? And what, I'll go back to that, but I'm gonna talk about this first. And he was like, oh, I was just called a bitch. Okay, for me personally, I'm like, girls call each other bitches all the time. And for me, I'm like, that's not that big of a deal. You probably, and she said like, oh, her dad, she helps take care of her dad. Her dad was in the hospital. She was worried about her dad. She can't talk to her dad because of the experiment. Because at that point they were in the pause and she was stressed out and she wanted to be left alone, but you kept bothering her. And this is another thing. You need to see how people are when they're doing through stressful time. There are two different kinds of people. There are people when they're going through hard times that they want to be comforted, they want people around them, they want to talk. And there's other people like when they're going through hard times, they lost someone or etc. They want to be left alone, and then when they're okay, they'll come back. And I'm like Alex in that point. Like I just want I am a people person, and I'm an extrovert, and I want. But if I'm not okay, I don't want to put my bad and negative emotions to you. I want to be left alone, process, heal, deal with what I'm going through, and then come back to you when I'm all good. And Alex is like that, and he kept bugging her and bugging her. She's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. And what we got from the reunion, he kept bugging her. So all she did was like put her hand on his lips and told him to be quiet, bitch. Which I'm like, dude, you're overreacting. Like, dude, like, that's not. Oh, okay. So you wanted her to say, "Shut up, Tyler." Oh, sorry, my bad. I messed up your name. Dude, you wanted Alex to say, "Shut up, Tim," and then you would be okay with that because she calls you by your name. And I'm like, when people are angry or annoyed, a lot of times they don't say, "Shut up, your name." A lot of times they say, "Shut up, bitch," or "Shut up, you're being an a-hole." That's how it happens a lot of the time. You act like she said like "shut up" and then like some mean thing, like oh, or something that you're insecure about. Like no, she didn't. She just said, "Shut up, bitch." There's nothing wrong with that. Get over with yourself. Anyway, that irritated me. Anyway, continuing with that, I'm like, when people are annoyed, leave them alone. That's the first time thing. Next, continuing. So, something else that she's getting hate for was sleeping. So she met with Tim's parents. They had a 10-hour drive to get to there, and basically after she met with his parents, she went to sleep, and he was talking to his parents. So she went to sleep. She's like, yeah, catch up with your parents. Da 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 da. He ended up being mad because you went to sleep. She's tired. She worked the day before, long shift. She was tired, and I believe like either late from the reunion, either the day after or later that day she had to work again. Leave her alone. Like, let her sleep. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And I feel like your parents were fine with it. It's just you in general. And I love how in the reunion, she was like, basically, like, once that big blowout at the beginning where we had that little tiff, I think you were done. And then you're like, I didn't want to be done then. And this is what I'm talking about. You're actually done. End it. If that was like your, because I don't like argument, I'm not a fighter, da 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 da. And she was like, I'm glad they didn't film that because I wanted to protect. Fine. You should have ended it there. But to pull, carry it along and to find something like, you went to sleep when I was talking to my parents by myself was like a deal breaker. And then like, I was cooking and you were talking to your dad when I came to visit your dad and you didn't help me clean the dishes is why you're anything? No. It was over. You were just finding something else to add on. Dude, whatever. You can't express yourself. And you didn't even express that to her. You're just like, I'm done. And over something stupid. It's not like you lost someone and someone's like, let's book a trip. And they did it in the worst timing or something like that. Your parents understood. They probably want to go to sleep too because of their long drive. Like, come on now. Like, seriously? Okay, whatever. Yeah, it's not like something bad or anything. Like, someone was insecure, like, not caring about you losing someone. Come on now, Tim. Come on now. Wow. So that's one of the things that were irritating me. Okay. Alright, let's talk about it. So Hannah is the youngest of the whole group. she is with Nick. And when they were in the pods, not a lot of people liked him because they were like, he's Mr. Ricky Suave, he's very smooth, da 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 da. And for that reason, she ended things. And then she was like, she heard that Brittany actually was like, oh, I really like Leo, and let that out. And she's like, oh, he's probably gonna put Brittany. I need to get my options back. I'm like, no, you say no to me the first time, I would never be on the show because, again, I don't believe love is blind. But if I was on the show and someone told me, no, we're ending things, I leave, you ask me back, I'm like, no, you said you're done. One chance. No. I'm not gonna be your, like, second option or whatever. And so there was a point where Hannah was like, I don't think you're gonna like me because of my body and how I look like. And when I first saw him look at her, like when they first met, she looked like she didn't like him. He looked like he liked her. Found out in a reunion, he said he called her a grenade, which if you don't watch Jersey Shore and are not a reality TV person like me, a grenade is a term that the guys from the Jersey Shore use for a girl that's not that pretty, which I get that's insulting. And she was like in the reunion, she's like, oh, I told you in your face everything. You did it behind my back. And I'm like, I think he just, like, Nick, while meeting his family, his mom is Latina. I don't know where, what country she is from specifically, but she is Latina. So he likes strong, independent women because that's what he grew up with from his mom. But she belittled him a lot. Nick, with every girl, was like, I was a kicker. So I'm a Steelers fan. That's the only American football team I know. And kickers, they're not always. Like, some of them are really buff, some of them are not. They don't have to be super buff like a quarterback to kick. And basically when she saw him, she was like, oh, he's shorter than me. He didn't care that you were taller than him in heels. Apparently for you, it was an issue that he was taller than you in heels. Girl, that's a you problem, not a him problem. So she didn't like that, and that he was thinner. Another thing that she didn't like was that he still lives with his parents. And I'm gonna say this. She was like, you're 28 years old. You still live with your parents. There's nothing wrong with living with your parents. Rent and everything like that is expensive. And again, going back to his career, he was a professional kicker for a professional American football team. I don't remember the name of the football team. Meaning he's traveling. Knowing how like football works, so they're gone from the end of August of one year to the beginning of February the next year if they make it to the Super Bowl. So meaning from March to July is the only time like he could actually go home, relax. So you're telling me he needs to be having his own home that the majority of the year he is not there for? That's stupid. Like, it's just like a lot of like actors, anyone that's in Broadway, professional singers, musicians, they're not home a lot. I think best to save money, especially everything's expensive, just live with your parents while you're on off season, and then save that money for like, oh, when you have to have hotels in these countries or these cities. How are you not like, why are you like berating him for that? Come on. It's not like he has a 9 to 5. Come on now. That was stupid. In my opinion, that was stupid. And even if he did it and he had like like now he has a regular job now, that he is now a real estate agent. Stuff is expensive. Like, girl, come on. And I feel like she's very nitpicky on him because her parents made her, kicked her out when she was 18. But, and I'm sorry about that, but not everyone has your childhood of like their parents kicking you out when you're 18. Families that are like, that's not fair. Don't do that to your kids. That makes them judgmental to other people that still stay at home, and you're making your kids grow up really fast when they don't have to, and things are expensive. Come on now, you're making them struggle having to have a zillion jobs. Like, stop that. So that's one thing I have. Another thing I have an issue with Hannah. Okay, so to continue with the like Hannah, I don't like her train. Her parents, her brother are like, you're being too rough on Nick. You don't have to be that mean to him. There's no reason for you. And I remember her brother being like, Hannah is mean, blunt, direct, says it to your face. You're doing this wrong, this. If it was a but she can't receive it back. So she can be a bitch to you, but if you're a bitch to her or give her back the same energy, she can't take it. Okay. Well then, so that's something. She made a list of the things she does not like about Nick, and when they end things at the end, she's like, oh, you're immature. You can't do this. You can't do that. It's like all these stuff, and she's like, and then she's talking about his manhood. Like, she's very, very mean and hurtful, and it's, for me, I feel like it's a lot of verbal abuse that you're giving to him that is seriously unnecessary. And I've never seen her fun side. I remember, when their big party, the only two new people that came, Katie, which we first saw that night, and then Bohem, he went too. Those are the only two people. And I was like, she's very, very insecure, I feel like, within herself. And I don't think she literally tears Nick down. Again, she does not have a job because her job wouldn't let her continue working for them if she was on the show. She's unemployed. So, and she has a dog. There was one conversation about cleaning. How much do you clean? And he's like, every week. So every Sunday I clean. Which for me, I'm like, that's reasonable. And she's like, every day I clean. Why wouldn't you? I'm like she either said like every day I clean. No, she didn't say that. She said I clean 3 times a day. And I'm like, girl, you don't need to clean that much a day. Like, and Nick was like, oh, okay, I get why. It's because of your dog. You know, the hair. And she's like, no, she doesn't shit that much. And I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, you're a neat freak. You don't need to be cleaning that much. Like, come on. And she's like, you don't walk my fur baby. And I'm like, girl, he just came back from work. I know, like, you guys are living together, you're engaged, like, mind yours. You can also walk her, but like, you're not doing anything. Your friends are at work. You're not doing anything. Take care of your own fur baby. He's at work. What do you mean? Oh, you're not helping take care of my fur baby. girl, you're not working. Me personally, like, if I was in her position and I wasn't working, yes, I'd clean, I'd, make sure the house looks clean and stuff like that. Take care of my fur baby, because I actually have a fur baby. I wouldn't be like, you weren't taking care of my fur baby. Like, girl, you're unemployed. I know you're probably unemployed. You go into interviews trying to get another job as well. But, like, come on now. That makes no sense why you're like, you're not my Nick. Why are you doing this? Oh, why aren't you doing that? Oh, Nick, why are you doing this? Oh, why are you doing that? Why? And constantly belittling him. Oh, you can't do this. Hire your man, Nick. Like, literally, you're constantly belittling him. Constantly. It's a lot of verbal abuse. I'm like, I feel sorry for the dude. I really do. Like, no one deserves that. And I'm saying, Hannah, be careful how you say things. You hurt people by the way you talk, and it's not okay. It's not acceptable at all. Oh, and there was another and you don't show your fun side. And I remember she's like, oh, you don't. I never showed my fun. I'm like, you could have. And a perfect example for you to show your fun side was on the honeymoon. It would have been the perfect point. So he saw 2 ducks when they were in Mexico, and it's like, okay, let's wear these ducks. And she's like, Nick. By the way, she's from West Virginia. I act a little bit, so I kind of know the twang. I'm not trying to be mean, but she was like, Nick, like, where, that gives me the ick. Like, why does that give you the ick? To have fun, play, be like silly, goofy? You don't have to be serious all the time. That's boring, right? And he does it anyway. An older woman from Mexico, she wants to do it. Her husband's the world. He probably is like Hannah, doesn't want to have fun, and they race. And again, Hannah looks jealous, and I'm like, he's not cheating on you. And then the older lady makes a joke, being like, oh, she's jealous. And then she makes a comment like, why would you? I'm like, it was a joke. She was joking. The lady after the ride went back to her husband, like, come on, girl. Like, I feel like, again, like, Hannah is more of a bigger girl. I think she's very insecure of her body. Alex is also a bigger girl, but she's not insecure of her body. But I think Hannah is. And going to the reunion, I get that the show is stressful, so I don't think it's stressful. It's stress and, like, deciding to change your body. But Hannah looked completely different. She was thinner. Alex didn't look different. She just looked thinner, and, like, it looked like she had a boob job. But, like, you girls do all you want. Love your bodies. Make your body how you want it to be. But like I said, like, she just keeps on digging on him over and over and over, and there's multiple cases after cases that she's like, he doesn't do this, he doesn't do, like, doing this, he doesn't like belittling him constantly, and I just keep feeling bad for him over and over and over again. And I'm just gonna stop with that, because again, this is why I don't like Hannah. So we're going to continue on. Okay, so I'm thinking who I want to talk about relationship next with. I think I'm gonna do Ashley and Tyler last. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to go next week because I did talk about Monica and Steven. Oh, okay. Oh, no, let me do them. So Monica and Steven, they're together. Steven talks a lot, which I feel like irritates Monica. And there was a point, like, he was saying a couple things that again, a lot of editing mishaps in the way, like, there's when we get into the conversation, we're like, what did we miss? And she's like, babe, let me get a word in. I'm like, huh? When he did not let you get a word in? He's like, oh, I'm chatting again. And I'm like, huh? You weren't talking that much. But again, they did show all of it. And she's like, yeah, let me. And I'm like, she just seems irritated with him personally, how he likes to talk and have long conversations, which I'm like, okay, then why are you with him? Wasting his time. Like, I don't like her personality and how she was dealing with him in that way. Oh, going back to the Alex and Tim conversation, what I really didn't like, and Alex didn't like this either, was when Tim was like, he read the letter that he said to Alex, to her dad, and was like, I'm gonna protect your daughter, I'm gonna be there for your daughter. What? And Alex was like, so that was BS, because you did that and then a couple days later you broke up with me. That was fake. And I was like, and disrespectful to my dad. I'm like, I completely agree with that. I also remember, for going back to the couples, remember there was a conversation with the girls again. Girls are really close, guys are really close, where Alex was like, I love my dad and I want to be with someone like my dad. It has his personality, because she has a really good personality with it, relationship with her dad. And she's at that time, that was before her and Tim had that issue. And Ashley said, I love my dad, but I don't want anyone like him. And I'm like, oh, I know what kind of father you have. Got it. Relate. I got you. You got one of those, like, dads that cheated on your mom multiple times. I got that. Been there. Get that completely. Trust me. I get that. Trust me. So I was like, oh, that's a relatable. I get that completely, girlfriend. Completely. Okay, so Marissa and Randis. So Marissa talked about being in the Navy with Randis, and he's like, and she was like, she asked him a really great question, even though she's not going to go back into the military. She's like, oh, what if I, like, something happened and they asked me to come back? How would you feel if I go back? And he was like, we would be done and over with. I'm like, really? I understand, like, that, like, because of, like, what's happening in Venezuela, why you're, like, not pro the military and stuff like that, but, like, not all people that are in the military are terrible people. And this is the first season, and I feel like it's because of the seasons in DC. There was a lot of talk about politics and who you voted for. Are you Democrat or Republican? Who you voted for? If you voted for Trump, and stuff like that, the first time, and stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, those are, like, a lot of big conversations, and I'm like, no, and I'm like, I know more about the contestants, and that also sways if I like them now. I'm like, okay, and I'm like, oh, it's because it's an election year, and B, this is in DC, the capital of the USA. So I'm like, oh, okay. And what makes I saw a lot of people talk about this, and it online and stuff. It This is a little segue. In she Marissa's liberal. I'm just gonna get to that, and she's talked about how like she's been with everyone. She's been with people that are liberal like herself. She's been with conservatives. She's been with Trump supporters. She's been with non-Trump supporters. She's been with anyone. And just like I said, I love Marissa. I would be friends with her. I think she's a great person. Love her personality. You know, this is just me by like watching, and observing, and I'm like, there's some stuff, and I'm like, would I date someone? Like, politics is a lot, and to like be on opposite sides is a lot. I would not, me personally, date a Trump supporter. That's just me, because I don't like him, but that's just me. But girl, you do you. That's my opinion on it, and I'm done. But I was like, oh, okay, to each his own. That's the only thing I did not like, what she said, Marissa. But other than that, girl, I love you. You're a great person. Don't change your personality. You are great. Carrying on. Again, there was a lot of drama, a lot of tea, a lot of unseen things this season. I want to see who I want to do next. Like, who I want to talk about next. I think I am going to do another big one, and because everybody's talking about it, and that is Ashley and Tyler. Tyler is very emotional. Like, he has a lot of emotional intelligence, which is great. And I remember Ashley being like, this is the first healthy relationship they had, and they did really, really well. They only had one hiccup, and Tyler told her that he has 3 kids. We found out later on, and then a lot of people were like, oh, so he hid those kids from her, da 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 da. They did, and she actually pretty much was like, no, he told me. But when he told me, I was like, I don't want our story to be fake, so we have to bring this up because I'm horrible being fake and lying and stuff. So they did it like that, and I'm like, But I do agree with people that say like, oh, this should have been talked about in the past. Like, he has 3 kids, right? And to be honest about that, because I do feel bad, because there is a lot of pictures online about his children and stuff like that and everything, and he didn't want that to be dragged, which happened. I understand that. I like I said, I don't hate Tyler. I think he's a cool guy, what I've seen about him. And I like those two as a couple still together. That's great. That's all I have to say about that. And then I'm letting it die. My favorite couple. Trying to make sure I did not skip anyone before I head to my favorite couple. Okay, yeah. So my favorite couple is Taylor and Garrett. They're so cute. They're nerdy. They have that each other. They both have like a scientific equation or scientific, like something scientist kind of tattoo. She has like a light bulb And he has like an equation. I don't know what the equation is. I'm not into science like that. I'm more of an artist girly. So they come together like that. So they're both their parents and them, both their parents and them, all have to say got married on the same day, which is cool. And like, oh, that's really unique. They make a really cute couple. They only had one hiccup, and that was an ex of Garrett. Again, this happens. You don't have your phone for a long period of time, and then you get it back, and then you see DMs, right? That's normal. As messaging him, and she said his ex said he misses her, and he just hope you're doing well. I don't know what the message was completely. He said to her that he liked it. He then went to Tyler and said, when she was there, I said, I'm doing well. I have a fiance. I hope have a good day. And I was like, you didn't tell me that. Like, why would you leave that out? That's sus. And I'm like, yeah, that is sus. And Taylor has a past history of being cheated on, so I understand that completely. They crossed that hurdle. They meant things. They end up getting married. And another issue was how Taylor, her family is from San Diego. She wanted to move back to San Diego. Garrett's parents don't really want him to leave Virginia. And I'm like, guys, he's married. If they want to leave the state, they can leave the state. It's not really your choice. Again, they're married. If they want to leave the country, again, it's not your choice. They're married. You have to deal with whatever they want to do. If that's leave the country, they leave the country. If that's leave the state, they leave the state. That's not your choice. It is what it is. And I remember also like his parents being like, oh, this is like not normal for him. He's very calculated, and like doing this is normal. But like when he set his mind to something, he does it. But they ended up, Taylor and Garrett, staying in Virginia. Maybe in the future they'll move to San Diego, because I know that she really wanted to move back closer to her family and back to the West Coast. So maybe that will happen later on. They're still married. Again, so the people that got married and stayed married are Taylor and Garrett and Ashley and Tyler. Again, two of the couples that I liked. And there was a lot of drama this season, and I would say like it majority had to do with a little bit like about I'll find it had to do with Tyler, but during the season, a lot of it had to do with like the love triangle with Leo, Brittany, and Hannah. And then after that was done, the drama was Hannah and how she was literally belittling Nick, being like, I made you a man, you were a boy before me. I'm like, stop that. Like, but overall, this season was a mixture for me when it came to like if I like the guys or not, and if I like the girls. Like, there was a guy I really didn't like, which was Leo, and a girl that I really didn't like, which was Hannah. And it usually goes more of, oh, I really can't stand the men. We need better men in this season. But this was more 50-50 for me. I didn't like a guy, and I really didn't like a girl, which really doesn't happen. But I will tell you, before I head out and say bye to you, lovely people. Thank you for listening, by the way. The season that I hated the most, and it's because of the men, was season 4, and it had nothing to do, like, the women were older and the men were younger, and I don't think like age is like the reason why, but the men in season 4 treated all the women except for like one guy, and they lasted and they're still married, like trash. The men in season 4, except for one guy, treated all the women like trash. I literally hated it, even like because I watched it with one of my best friends. She hated it, and all my other friends hated this season because the men in season 4 of Love is Blind treated the women like trash, the majority of them. So that was the season I hated the most. But like I said with Love Island, this is another show that you and your besties, you and your girls, you friends, whoever can watch. You can watch it with your partner. It really opens your eyes. Your worth is important. You deserve to be with someone that cares about you, won't change you. Again, because I feel like, going back to Hannah, she was trying to change Nick, and she also mentioned like, oh, I was molding you to be the best person. And to be honest, when they all came together in a group, when Nick and Katie talked, Nick was like, we were doing so well. We after the 3rd day, it was done, and she was like, your maturity, you need to grow up. You go forth with your charisma and your personality, and I feel like you're trying to mask something. Leave more with like your heart, and that will help you entirely. That will help you if you leave with your heart instead of like, being like Mr. Suave. And I feel like if it would have been better if Nick ended up with Katie, because she would have like helped him in that way, and yes, give the constructive criticism that he likes, or being a strong, independent woman, but she wouldn't have diminished him and put him down a lot. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys are doing great, or fine. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great time. Have a great rest of your day. Love you guys. Bye.